As an archaeologist, one of the questions people often present to me is, what can archaeology really do for biblical studies? The answer to that ranges all the way from the premise that it proves the Bible to that it has nothing to do at all with biblical studies. I think there's a more nuanced kind of response that we can make. But the early beginnings of archaeology had to do with getting the goodies. This basically begins in the 1800s as the different museums around the world, particularly those in Europe, are trying to build their museums. And an example of this, a quotation out of Keith Scoville, reads that the search for Mesopotamian antiquities was moved more by national pride than by scientific inquiry, is evident in a transaction between the British Museum and Layard. £2,000 was to be made available to Layard, providing he obtain the largest possible number of well-preserved objects of art at the least possible outlay of time and money. This is an atrocious sounding description of what archaeology is all about. But in all fairness, that's how archaeology basically begins, as people are collecting things in order to fill their museums or their estates and whatever. Fortunately, archaeology has graduated significantly beyond that. And as we think in terms of the purposes of archaeology today, we can ask the question, what can we expect it to do? Now, from a more conservative standpoint, which is probably more the audience that is watching this discussion, we can pose the question, can it prove inspiration? Well, in a nutshell, I'm going to say no, and I'll explain here in a moment. But can it demonstrate the accuracy of the narrative? Well, it can go a long way toward that. But to go back to that first question, proving archaeology, inspiration should imply accuracy of the text, but accuracy of the text does not necessarily imply inspiration.
Great video, right? So you know the drill. Like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to see the rest of this video, head over to christian-studies.org. Click on Video Courses, and then check out our entire video collection. And then subscribe for you or for your church to get access to all of our premium content.